this as the day you sailed with the Skull Rock podcast. Proceed at your own risk and mark well me words, ladies. Dead men tell no tale.
Welcome to Skull Rock Podcast, a show about all things Disney and pop culture. Every week we take you behind the scenes of some of your favorite Disney films, theme park attractions, performances, books, and music, as well as what's streaming, what's playing in theaters, and what's happening in this universe of entertainment. Hello, I am Aljon Go, lifelong Disney fan, also pop cultureist. It is a thing. And you can email me, Aljon, A-L-J-O-N, at skullrockpodcast.com.
And I'm Dave Bossard, artist, filmmaker, and author, and welcome to the Skull Rock Podcast. If you love Disney and pop culture, please subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast. You can also like and follow us on Facebook, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, LinkedIn, and on the Skull Rock YouTube channel. You can also email me at dave@skullrockpodcast.com. Aljon, we've both been on the road traveling. Last week we had a shortened show where we just played the final episode of our interview with Rob Pratt, animator Rob Pratt. We got a lot of great feedback from that too. And so this week I think we're just going to be catching up on stuff. There's a lot to talk about. And I'm also looking forward to next week because we're going to be kicking off a multi-part interview with Tim Landry and Jerry Reese.
Whoa.
And that's going to be really exciting because we're going to be talking about some theme park stuff, which we're going to be talking about today because you just got back from Walt Disney World.
Oh, certainly did. It was a spring break of spring breaks, and the kids run crazy. It was absolutely awesome, and we actually had to experience a few things that I needed to get off my chest. One of them, you're going to talk about Tron, and Tron was an amazing ride, but I can't wait to dive into that.
Awesome. But we have so much to go over. We should just dive into our mailbag.
We should. Let's go ahead and fire this up.
Skull Rock Podcast answers your email.
Opening that mailbag, Dave, you got a lot of feedback.
We really did. So the first note we got is from Dan in Los Angeles. He says, "Hey, Dave, been enjoying your podcast. Rob has been great. I especially appreciate the honesty he shares about the ups and downs and the luck factor. He had me laughing, talking about those late nights contemplating one more in-betweener pose and how quickly 3:30 a.m. happens when kids have been up when kids have to be up in 4 hours. His whole story has been relatable and fun to listen to. Best, Dan." Thanks, Dan. Really appreciate you sending that in. Dan, by the way, is a CalArtian and somebody who used to work at Disney. I'm not sure if he's still working there, but I've known him in the industry for many years. So, Dan, appreciate you listening to the show.
I love it.
Yeah, it really terrific. Next, we've got an email that said, "Hi, David. I hope you're going." Well, this is like my mother. "Hi, David. Come on, call me Dave." You know? "Hi, David. Hope you're hope you're going well these days. It's been a while, but thought I'd message into you and Skull Rock Podcast. I have been catching up on the great interviews this year, and wow, what a run so far. The Ed Nowak series was really insightful, and I found it hugely entertaining. It's so refreshing to hear about the stories behind those at the Disney studios that often go unheard of. So kudos to you and Ed for such a fun talk." See, Aljon, once again, we are getting some incredible feedback from Ed. In fact, I traded emails with Ed this past week, and I'm going to try and get him back on the show, maybe to do like one episode here and there, and pick up on some more of these great stories. But the email goes on to say the Rob Pratt interviews are going super as well, and you can really feel his enthusiasm for animation. I fully embrace the belief that opportunity is there for the brave, even in difficult times, dare I say, more so, as has been shown throughout the history of animation. Anyway, I look forward to hearing the upcoming episodes and who else you both have lined up for 2026. Paul from Parts Unknown, who is, I think he's in Tokyo, but he may be moving to England. So I like calling him Paul from Parts Unknown.
Yeah,
He's a longtime listener.
he is. That's an interesting thing. I love this quote he says there. Opportunity is there for the brave. Isn't that what it's all about? Being bold and striking out on your own, trying to bet on yourself in order to make things happen.
Absolutely. And this is one of the reasons why I've been telling people, if you don't listen regularly, at least listen to those Rob Pratt interviews, because I think they're super inspiring, especially
Yeah.
in the difficult environment that's out there. So anyway, next
Yeah.
up, we've got another friend of ours, Chris Banis from Tennessee, sent us
Yeah.
a note. She said, "Hey, Dave, sorry it's been a while, but life gets in the way sometimes." Absolutely. We know that. Both Aljon and I, we've been on the road and dealing with family stuff. She goes on to say, "I just wanted to tell you that I totally enjoyed the interviews with Ed Nowak. He was absolutely fascinating to listen to, and I learned so much. Secondly, I want to let you know that we just love the show Best Medicine that you mentioned on your part 3 with Rob Pratt. Best Medicine is the American version of the British show Doc Martin that was on for years. We discovered that during COVID and watched all the seasons of that. It is still one of our faves. I'm sorry I missed seeing you guys at the Animation Y'all Fest Expo this year, but I will be flying down to Orlando for my trip to my happy place and celebrating 50 years of going to Walt Disney World. Hard to believe, but that is worth celebration in my book.
Yes.
Keep up the good work, and hugs to both of you. Warm regards, Chris Banis." So thank you, Chris, for that. And yes, I did neglect to mention that Best Medicine is the American version of Doc Martin, which has been on British television for quite a number of seasons and is a great show. And by the way, the lead from Doc Martin, is the guy that plays Doc Martin, is actually guesting on Best Medicine as the doctor. So
Yes.
I'll talk about that when we get to what we're watching. But
Very
thanks,
good.
Chris. We really appreciate your email. And then on Facebook, we got a note listening to part 4. It's a short one this time, and I really enjoyed the whole Rob Pratt series, as I've seen his name on Facebook for years, and I just didn't know who he is. So nice to know you at Skull Rock Podcast have interviewed so many interesting people in animation. Happy I found your podcast some time ago. I've learned a lot from these podcasts. That's listener Pam in Toronto. So thank you, Pam. Appreciate it. And then I want to give a shout out to Gerard Pistorius in South Africa. That's right, folks. This is a global podcast. We
Yes.
have people from Nigeria, from South Africa, from Taiwan, from Australia, from South America, you name it, all over Europe are listening to the Skull Rock podcast. So shout out to Gerard in South Africa, because he and I have traded some emails, and he's put me in touch with some folks that we're going to have future interviews with. So I appreciate it. And I would say to all of our listeners, if there's somebody you want to hear, by all means, send us, drop Aljon and I a note and let us know, and we'll try and reach out to the person and see if they want to do an interview on our podcast.
Absolutely. Makes so much sense. And I love hearing those emails and those comments. Keep them coming. Why don't you?
It's really great, and we really appreciate hearing from our listeners. So keep them coming, as Aljon says. All right, that's it for the mailbag.
Pam, have you She wrote this great review of my poetry book.
That's my pick. I read a great review.
Your girlfriend got a great review.
Oh, that's my pick, too. Sorry.
Excuse me while I start the projector.
Skull Rock Podcast, Picks of the Week.
Once again, Dave, what have you been checking out this week?
Well, Aljon, this past week I was traveling. I flew down to Dallas for a few days. And so when I was flying home, I did watch Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Did you see this movie when it was in the theaters?
I have.
Okay, so this is the third in a series of films about the Four Horsemen, right? So this is the third one. It stars Jesse Eisenberg, Morgan Freeman, Mark Ruffalo, Dave Franco is in this. It's just a great ensemble cast. The Four Horsemen and a new generation of illusionists join forces to steal the world's largest diamond from a South African mogul who heads an international crime syndicate. So I enjoyed this film. It's sort of light fare. It's a bit action, a bit comedy, a bit drama. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And just so folks know, they are developing a Now You See Me, Now You Don't 4 with the same cast. So that's going into production. Rotten Tomatoes gives it 61%, IMDb 5.9 out of 10. 69% of people who watched this movie liked it. I liked it. I thought it was light fare. I think you can watch this at some point. I think it's on Prime. And the previous two Now You See Me, Now You Don't movies are on, I believe, Netflix. So there you have it, okay? I also watched a documentary over the last 2 weeks called Crumb. Are you familiar with Crumb? Robert Crumb?
I am not.
Robert Crumb is like the most famous underground cartoonist. He came up with the Keep On Trucking image. He's very well known for, as well as, just a whole slew of underground comics. Filmmaker Terry Zwigoff creates a complex but affectionate portrait of his longtime friend, underground cartoonist Robert Crumb, a notorious curmudgeon who would prefer to be alone with his fellow cartoonist wife, Aileen Kaminsky Crumb, and his beloved vintage jazz records. Crumb reveals himself to be a complicated personality who suffered a troubled upbringing and harbors a psychological opposition or philosophical opposition to the 1960s hippie underground that first celebrated his work. So, Aljon, I actually read the book Crumb, which prompted me to watch the documentary.
Okay, that's cool.
The Crumb book is a 400+ page book about his, it's a biography, basically. It's about his entire life and the underground. It's really a primer on underground comics. So I enjoyed the book thoroughly. I completely recommend the book to everybody for if you're interested in the topic, reading about a cartoonist, Robert Crumb, or R. Crumb, as he liked to sign his artwork. The documentary is well done. There's some cringy moments in it, but it's well done. Rotten Tomatoes gives it 95%. IMDb gives it 8 out of 10. And 77% of people like this movie. I rented it on Amazon Prime. After I read the book, I decided, well, I'm going to, watch this Crumb documentary. It was $2.99 to rent, and it was well worth it if you're interested in underground comics. Nice. Now, over on Netflix, I watched the new movie called War Machine, starring Alan Ritchson. Alan Ritchson, who you might know from the Reacher TV series. Okay. And the film stars Alan Ritchson as an Army Ranger, along with Dennis Quaid, Jay Courtney, Alex King, S.A. Morales. It's a good cast. During the final stage of U.S. Army Ranger selection, an elite team's training exercise turns into a fight for survival against an unimaginable threat. I got to tell you, Aljon, this is a sci-fi action picture.
Okay.
And I don't want to give away too much here, but I'll just say the Ranger training. There's a selection of quote cadets, if you will, that are in this Ranger training program, and they're put together and they have to go out on a final mission to earn their Ranger scroll. And they encounter something that nobody thought was going to happen. And I actually enjoyed this movie. This was one of those, action pictures that's just fun summer fare. So if you get a chance, check it out on Netflix. Now, we talked a little bit about Best Medicine earlier, and the American version of it has been picked up for season 2. So Best Medicine stars Josh Charles as Dr. Martin Best. Abigail Spencer as Louise, the love interest. Annie Potts is in it as Doc Martin's aunt. And it's got a quirky cast. Martin Clunes, who plays Martin Best in the original British series, is also in it as Dr. Martin Best's father. So it's a wonderful series. Martin Best is a brilliant surgeon who abruptly leaves his illustrious career in Boston to become the general practitioner in a quaint East Coast fishing village where he spent summers as a child. Unfortunately, Martin's blunt and borderline rude bedside manner rubs the quirky, needy locals the wrong way, and he quickly alienates the town, even though he's all they've got. Okay, so it goes on some more about what's going on with it, but it's a very enjoyable series, and you can check it out on Hulu if you have the Disney bundle. I think Hulu's eventually going to become a tile on Disney Plus, but right now,
already is.
Oh, it is? Okay. So if you got Disney Plus, you've got Hulu. So check it out on Hulu. Rotten Tomatoes gives a 77%. IMDb gives a 6.5 out of 10. I really enjoy the film because I love the quirky ensemble cast. So there you have it. Now, over on Netflix, I watched season 3 of The Night Agent. I actually binge watched this because I thought it was pretty well done. Gabriel Basso stars as Peter Sutherland, the night agent. And while monitoring an emergency line, an FBI agent answers a call that plunges him into a deadly conspiracy. It's just a continuation. Each season, there is a overarching story for the 8 or 10 episodes. So you can check this out. Rotten Tomatoes gives it 82%. IMDb 7.4 out of 10, and 85% of people who watched this liked it. I like season 3, and I'm happy to tell you that it's been picked up for season 4 already. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff we got to cover here because we weren't here last week.
No.
I got to tell you, you like Sherlock Holmes?
Do.
Yeah. So here's yet another Sherlock Holmes-esque series. It's called Young Sherlock.
Mm-hmm.
And season 1 is dropped on Amazon Prime. A 19-year-old Sherlock Holmes finds himself entangled in a murder at Oxford that jeopardizes his freedom. His first case, tackled recklessly, leads to him to uncover a far-reaching conspiracy that alters his path forever. This is kind of an interesting show. Donald Finn stars as James Moriarty. Hero Finest Tiffin stars as Sherlock Holmes. Rafe Fiennes' nephew, I guess it is.
Interesting.
And Joseph Fiennes is in this as well. This is sort of a family affair. Max Irons, who's the son of Jeremy Irons, plays Mycroft Holmes. This is just sort of like a big family affair, I think. Anyway, but it's a period piece, and it's directed by Guy Ritchie.
Wow.
Yeah. Or at least the first couple of episodes are. It's really terrific. It is really well done, and I'm really enjoying this. I highly recommend you check out Young Sherlock on Amazon Prime. And then finally, Aljon, I'm getting down to the end here, but I've talked about this British detective show called Grace, which I've watched on BritBox in the past. Well, I am watching season 5, and it is absolutely fantastic. Each episode is 90 minutes. It's like a little movie, and they're incredibly well written. In fact, they're written by critically acclaimed screenwriter Russell Lewis. This adaptation of the bestseller by Peter James stars John Sim as Detective Grace, follows the Brighton-based detective Roy Grace, who has hit rock bottom in his life. His wife Sandy disappeared 6 years ago. Roy spends all of his time investigating cold cases. Meanwhile, his different ways of working are being questioned by his bosses, risking his job. However, things look set to change when his colleague, Detective Glenn Branson, asks for help on a difficult case. So really an excellent detective show. Can't recommend it enough. It's called Grace on BritBox.
Love that.
And that's a lot of stuff I've been watching over the last couple of weeks, folks. So, Aljon, what have you been watching?
I tell you, not as much as you, but I have been listening to a few things. If longtime listeners know, I'm obsessed with this podcast called One Song. It's One Song Podcast. You can find it on Spotify, just like our show, everywhere you find podcasts. And these two musicologists, Luxury and Diallo Riddle, are amazing when it comes to their encyclopedic knowledge of music. I would say, just based on, because I'm a Gen Xer, they're probably millennials. They're slightly younger, but their music knowledge is encyclopedic, and I really appreciate that. They did a breakdown this week of one of my favorite songs from the 90s. I would say it's probably top 5. Pivotal, Alanis Morissette's You Oughta Know. And what they do is they break down the stems, individual tracks. They talk about how those songs were crafted and everything leading up to this career, culminating in this one song. So it's a really deep dive documentary, and it's fascinating when you look at how the songs were done. Alanis Morissette was fresh off the heels of her pop run. And for a lot of people know Alanis from doing that song You Oughta Know and her breakout record in the mid 90s of Jagged Little Pill. And Dave, you know this, it's just such a woven part of the 90s. Alanis Morissette was such a pivotal figure, much like the bands in the grunge era. You had the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you had Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alanis Morissette, no doubt. Those type of bands really helped form the 90s. And that song, I remember vividly. I was leaving music class. I was studying for a jury. I was a percussionist, and I popped into my Corolla, my Toyota Corolla, and I cranked on the radio, and I heard this song. It hit me like a bolt of lightning. What am I listening to? It's amazing. It was raw, and I had to go get the record. I literally popped into my car after leaving a music rehearsal, and I just ran to the music store, the record store. Back in the day, we had record stores, people. And I bought the album, and it was life-changing. I love this record.
I mean, it's such a great song. It's an iconic song from that period. And it sounds like a great documentary.
It's,
Or I should say podcast.
It's a great podcast, and the videos you can find on YouTube. But I will say that when you break it down, the rawness, the fact that Alanis left pop music, it didn't work out for her, got a deal, a writing deal, and she was writing with an amazing producer, Glenn Ballard, who's literally written so many hit songs, and I'm such a big fan of his work. He's worked from everyone from Diane Warren to Aerosmith to Van Halen. He literally put all the pieces together with drum machines and influenced by electronica, EDM, the bringing in of Dave Navarro and Red Hot Chili Peppers bass player Flea to bring together a rock funk electronica track with that one take vocal from Alanis Morissette. She did it in one take. She is such a pro. And of course, the stunning lyrics and the raw emotion in that. I can tell you this is a podcast for you if you like the deep dives of people like Diana Ross and wonderful songs from every genre and every bit, every time period. Check out One Song Podcast. I can't go on about it. Go out of your way to check it out. I will say this, Zootopia 2. There's a reason, as Dave said before, that this is the #1 animated film of all time. It is a juggernaut of a film. I finally saw it on Disney Plus. We took the kids to go see it. And we also experienced Zootopia better together. They took over the Tree of Life. So over there at Animal Kingdom. So instead of it's tough to be a bug, which I have a lot of fond memories about that show, Dave. This new show with Zootopia in this movie is great. So they basically take some parts of Zootopia 2 and reformatted it into this new show over there at Animal Kingdom, which is really great, by the way. If you haven't seen it, it's really great. But notwithstanding, Zootopia 2 on its own, the brave rabbit cop Judy Hopps and her friend Fox Nick Wilde team up again to crack a new case. It's the most perilous and intricate of their careers. It is an amazing, well done, a lot of heart, and so much fun. And these animal characters you'd fall in love with. It's there's so much shorthand going on that you don't feel burdened by having to watch the first one. You just hop in to it, pun intended, and it's a romp from there on out. It's a buddy film. It's like the Odd Couple, if you will, buddy film, cop film. So they take a genre that, like Lethal Weapon, and they just make it, they have a lot of gags and a lot of laughs. I found myself watching it with the kids laughing out loud. That's how good Zootopia 2 is.
That's awesome. And you did watch it with the kids.
Did watch it with the kids, and they absolutely love it. In fact, they're watching it now as I record this podcast again. Because it was that good. It was that good. So go out of your way if you haven't seen it. There's a reason why it is the #1 film of all time, animated film of all time. Something completely different. As you know, Dave, I'm a fan of these crime documentary series, whether it's on Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, I'm here for it. And because I had time on my hands when I put the kids to bed during my vacation over at Walt Disney World, I ended up going to watch this on Lifetime on Hulu. And this is Surviving Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, you heard me right. I did watch it on Lifetime.
Oh, good God.
But this is a multi-part series, of course, with Jeffrey Epstein, multimillionaire businessman accused of ABSA trafficking of underage girls. And if you don't know how horrific this man and what he is allegedly accused of, I will say this: it is creepy and it's sad. It's this guy. Once again, as I made mention a couple weeks back, I saw the Netflix documentary. I saw this. There's a reason why I think the feds are having a hard time peeling this onion, because it's so deep. It's a huge Ponzi scheme of human trafficking, Dave. It's absolutely disgusting.
And it was going on for decades.
It's been going on for decades. And I feel sad because these women that he preyed on ended up working for him and bringing more women into the fold. So it's like victim gets victimized and then continually gets under this Ponzi scheme of human trafficking. And it is blowing my mind. And people are like, just release the files. I'm like, you don't understand. This onion is insanely huge, and it crosses countries. It crosses multiple states, multiple countries. Huge people are so many people are involved, and it's like, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle this? It's absolutely crazy. And as you mentioned and alluded to, maybe off mic, I mean, there's so much blackmail and other things going on here. It's insane. So when people are like, it's not that simple to just release the files, because I think there is so much buried underneath that there are a lot of obviously so many people are involved, but I think you have to do a lot of investigating, and it will probably go on for decades.
It's unbelievable, and they really got to release everything on this, because I think once they do, there's going to be a lot more in the way of people being ensnared in this and resigning, and you know, having
Well,
to
there's
explain themselves and all of that.
well, it's definitely started, and there I don't think there's any end in sight. Yes, I ultimately believe that all those things need to be released. And I think they need to be, completely vetted just for the victim's sake. But my goodness, that's a lot of stuff. But anyway, there is that. Now, Dave, this fun part. The fun part of this discussion is all the Disney stuff I did. All right, Dave, I checked out Tron Light Cycle Run. I had a great time on it. Um, it was an amazing experience. It is a speed across a world with no horizons and a high stakes race based in the Disney sci-fi film Tron Legacy. And it is so much fun, Dave. You get to get on this light cycle with a bunch of other people. You ride in tandem, and it's like, of course, one of those rides where you go on this track and it's super fast and great effects, great sound, super smooth. And
Now, is
I,
Aljon, I got to ask you, is the light cycle, is that the ride vehicle, that how many people are in the ride vehicle, or are you actually on it yourself?
so you're on your own light cycle, but
Okay.
it's two. So there's like 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. So there's probably like 8 people on it, maybe 10, but
So
you're
it's like
all
one
connected.
one big ride vehicle, but you're sitting on your own light cycle.
You're sitting on your own light cycle, but they're all it's like a train. They're all connected,
Got
right?
it. Got it. Okay.
Like a train car. And I am a bigger kind of guy. So when you straddle the bike, they couldn't get your legs are actually kind of secured onto the vehicle, and the ride vehicle, the safety bar kept on hitting my calf. I've got like these huge calves, Dave. It's a Filipino thing, I guess. So they had to put me in a different car in the back, a lap car, which is great if you are, a different size or whatever. And my wife rode it, I rode it. And because we had the kids and they're not tall enough to ride it, we did a parent swap. So one of us could take care of the kids and one of us could ride the ride, and the other parent could go, and the other parent could kind of keep the kids
So
waiting.
what's the age restriction and height restriction?
I think it's like you have to be like 4 feet tall
Okay.
minimum.
Got it.
And I think it's like that because they have to put these restraints on your legs so you don't fall there. I believe there's a corkscrew and an inversion and different things, but the effects are amazing, Dave, and it's really, really cool. So I'm doing the screenshot here of where it is. It's located right next to Space Mountain, and it is just a magnificent ride. So go out of your way to check that out if you have not done it, but it is amazing. Yes, it says 48 inches, Dave, is the height requirement.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it's really cool. The other thing I was able to do is Geo 82. So over at Epcot, they opened up a brand new lounge called Geo 82, and it says, elevate your day at the lounge for guests 21 and up, featuring scenic views, innovative cocktails, and exquisite small plates. So This place is absolutely amazing. So this is located in what used to be kind of a lounge over there in Spaceship Earth. So as you go into Spaceship Earth and you exit, they have this kind of experiential thing where you can do different interactive games. And then you go upstairs from that, and they've transformed this into a lounge. It's a martini lounge. It has this really cool kind of 70s deco appearance, a lot of oranges and browns, really cool stuff. And I will say that their small plates, we had the charcuterie, and we had an amazing time. We were sat about 10 minutes before the nighttime spectacular at Epcot, and it was great, Dave. I can tell you, I had a special bourbon flight that they only serve there at this lounge. You can't get it anywhere else. And I actually made notes. So I could tell you, Dave, are you a big bourbon guy?
No, I'm really not, but go ahead and tell me.
So the exclusive Disney Select bourbon flight that you can only get, it's hand selected for Geo 82 guests and can only be experienced within these walls. It's Uncle Nearest single barrel, um, Woodford Reserve private stock, Blanton's Gold single barrel, and Stag private barrel. By themselves, Dave, it's pretty expensive, but I did it anyway. It's it's a $60 flight, something like that. And
so basically, like $20 a shot.
Yeah, it's really good. If you love bourbon and you love, my favorite actually is the Woodford Reserve Private Barrel. It has caramel notes to it. As you sip it, it actually opens up, and Kristen was like, "Oh my gosh!" It just totally opens up, and you get that flavor of the oak barrel, but you also get that caramel flavor. It's really good. She had an old fashioned with butter. It was a butter old fashioned, and it was also an amazing drink. That's what's shown here in this picture, is that butter old fashioned. So good. And the charcuterie is great. And then we saw the nighttime fireworks. It was amazing. So if you haven't been to Geo 82, I'll post some pictures on my social on Instagram. You're going to absolutely love it if you love that experience. But it's
awesome. And it's 21 and older. So where were the kids?
The kids were at a babysitter.
All right. Awesome.
We got Twinkle Toes babysitter service. Shout out to Twinkle Toes. They're amazing.
I was going to say they must have a raging babysitter service down at Walt Disney World, so parents can go out in the evenings.
You know, that was the thing. We try to do at least one thing for ourselves to do some adulting. Our kids are 5 and 6, and we use Twinkle Toes service that's there locally. They're fully vetted, and I would trust my children with them. The two experience I've had, the last time when we went to Destino, the Destino Lounge, Dave.
Yeah.
We had the kids there. And so that's where I told you, like, all of the work that you did with the Destino book and Salvador Dali, all that artwork, those photos from the book are in that lounge. And we had the kids with Twinkle Toes, and it was really well done.
Very nice. Very nice.
Let's see, as we talk, I will tell you, this is the first time I've seen this, because we've had the kids since the pandemic. We have not been able to stay out late, but tonight we did. After while we were sipping our cocktails over there at Geo 82, we saw Luminous, the Symphony of Us. It's a great show, wonderful storytelling, brilliant fireworks show, and a great soundtrack. I believe Catherine McPhee was providing the vocals for much of it, the singing, the music, the integration of some of the IP when it comes to Remember Me from Coco, as well as When Somebody Loves You by Sarah McLachlan. They actually intertwined those two musical pieces together in an acoustic ballad. It was amazingly done, well put together. Visuals were outstanding. Great show, Luminous, over there at Epcot for the Nighttime Spectacular. It's really, really well done.
Awesome.
And I'm wearing the t-shirt from Beak Barrel, Dave. So at Magic Kingdom, I was able to experience this for the first time. The Beak Barrel is a pirate-themed bar, very similar to what you'd find at Trader Sam's.
Okay.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
So it's right by the Pirates of the Caribbean. They converted an area of the shop into this experience. The bar is well done, pirate themed, and the the staff is absolutely amazing. We had a server. We sat in the main area, and the server was literally the pirate princess. She was so good, Dave. Just all about the theming. We actually had this corn cake, which was absolutely amazing. It was barbecue chicken with the corn cake, and we had, of course, the rum drinks. The kids had non-alcoholic
I was going
beverages.
to say so the kids are able to go in here. What about was it a wait to get in? Do you have to make a
We had
reservation? What's the deal?
you had to make reservations for everything,
Okay,
and you
so
I just
Kristen made reservations like weeks in advance.
well, yes, 100%. It's hard to get into this because it is so good. The little parrot is a showman. So they have an animatronic parrot that comes up from behind the pirate bar, and he barkers everything, much like the Barker parrot from the old Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, and talks to the staff. He runs the whole joint, and all the pirate servers and the server staff, always like, that darn pirate. And that darn parrot doesn't know anything about running an establishment, blah, blah, blah. So they go back and forth and they have a banter back and forth. And it's really well done. Ships and bottles kind of move much like Trader Sam's over there at Disneyland. It's really well done. 100%. Love to bring the family there. I can't wait to dress my kids up in pirate garb and have them interact with the servers. Overall, a wonderful experience, Dave. I can't go on about it enough. It's so well done.
Fantastic.
And like I told you, Dave, the storytelling is still peak at Disney parks. I feel good about my trip, and I'm glad it's kind of reinvigorated my love for the parks. I go with the kids every year a couple times, but this was the best. I have to say, this was the
That's
best.
great.
Like me, they spend all their time studying pop culture that Halliday was obsessed with.
I'm really interested in what I like to call pop culture news.
People know that in 22 minutes they can get their fast, fun pop culture fix.
Skull Rock Podcast. This week in Disney and pop culture.
There's been a lot of announcements of leadership changes and things because this coming week, Josh D'Amore takes over as the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. And he was the chairman of Disney Parks and Resorts and Experiences. But he's now bringing up leadership from within to fill the ranks, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Josh D'Amoro being the new CEO is going to do a great job. I'm cautiously optimistic. I feel that Josh was a great figurehead. And very interactive with fans. And I think the parks are such a revenue stream for the Disney company right now that they're going to be making a lot of moves. I mean, yes, we've heard the criticism, especially, about the Disney parks and experiences being a little bit out of reach for many families, but it is a premium brand. And I feel like the turnstiles are still moving, and I'm hoping that they just don't lose sight of what it is. It's family entertainment. It's great storytelling, upkeep of the parks, making sure that cast members are once again delivering on their promise of just a premium experience and a memorable one for families that maybe save their entire lives to go there. I think we take for granted as annual pass holders that some people save up their entire lives to bring their entire family to experience these type of things. And I think it's important that when they get there, they feel that it was worth every penny.
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people who are fortunate enough who can go every year if they want to, but there are people who might go, once in a lifetime, and they've really got a plan for it. So, I feel fortunate because I have a silver pass, so I can use that. I don't have to. I don't have to spend the crazy amounts of money for the entrance tickets.
Dave, you've earned it.
I hope I did. I hope I did.
Yeah, you've definitely earned it.
There's going to be more changes, I'm sure, coming up. The other thing that's going to be interesting, Aljon, is to see if ESPN and the broadcast networks get spun off as a standalone company that Disney owns the majority share of. But by doing so, I think they're going to create much more shareholder value because the stock price has been depressed. And I think that Bob Iger maybe has been hesitant to do that because he started out in the broadcast networks.
I understand.
So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what types of moves Josh does make. But Bob Iger's had a great run. And did an incredible job with the Walt Disney Company and the brand. I know some people disagree with some of the things, but overall, the fact that he was able to purchase Pixar and Lucasfilms and Marvel and integrate those into the company, all I can say is I hope they build a Star Wars park someplace, and I hope they build a Marvel park someplace.
100%. So it was announced that Thomas Mazloom, did I say that right, Dave? Thomas Mazloom succeeds Josh D'Amaro as chairman of Disney Experiences, leading a diverse portfolio of global businesses, including theme parks, cruise ships, resort hotels, expedition adventures, consumer products, Walt Disney Imagineering. And he brings as they say in the press release, Dave, a deep operational knowledge of Disney experiences with a strong record of international leadership and longstanding commitment to Disney's cast members and creative culture. With guest experiences at the center of everything, he will lead the business into its next chapter as the business continues to grow and evolve globally. Now, before Disney, Mazloom built a strong foundation in European luxury hospitality, gaining experience with high-end hotels and food and beverages, guest services, and hotel operations, serving as a CEO of Crystal Cruise Line, where he was known for driving excellence and transforming organizational cultures and successfully launching new travel ventures. Boy, does that sound like a press release.
Tell me about it.
It is. Let's see here. Now, he's not the only one joining the team. It was also announced that Jill Astorino is the new president of the Disneyland Resort.
Mm-hmm.
Tassia Filippetos is the new president of Disney Parks International. And then Lisa Balzicki, I hope I'm not butchering these names too bad, was the new president of Disney Consumer Products. So a lot of stuff here for those new people joining the team in those key places. And I have a feeling that it won't be long before we see, a Dubai Disney park, because I think that's kind of what they've been looking at doing for the past 20 years, Dave. Am I not correct?
Well, yeah, no, they're going to build the Dubai park. I mean, that's a done deal. That's the next big park that'll be built. But there's other stuff out there that they can do to expand, and they're investing $60 billion.
Yeah. I'd love to see them have, a standalone Marvel or Star Wars park or both. And I think it would be great to do that, as long as they put the right people in the right places. And the moves they made with Dave Filoni over there at Lucasfilm, I believe, is a step in the right direction. Only time will tell.
Yeah. And, I don't think they should build, build a new park in Orlando. Even though they have all that land, I kind of feel like it would be great to see them build something in Texas, the center of the country, so that people who can't travel to Los Angeles or can't travel down to Orlando might be able to get to Dallas and, or someplace in Texas, where they could still have an experience like that,
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities there for sure. And who knows what'll happen in the future. I'm sure there's also plans to, make sure that their current theme parks are decked out and ready to combat the theme park wars that are happening with Universal. I mean, Universal is doing so many great things with their IP
Yes.
and that they're doing, whether it's Nintendo or Universal Monsters and all those other things. They just keep on growing and delivering. And let's face it, Dave, half of the people you and I talk to that work formally for Disney Imagineering and films and art are working at Universal now,
And not only that, but Universal's competing on a price level too. They seem to be giving more value just from a pricing standpoint than Disney. And I've heard that firsthand from people. I was talking to somebody who, annually did an office holiday party out in Los Angeles at the Grand Californian. And he told me over the last 3-4 years, the jump in pricing was just shocking, even to him, because he had money to throw around. He was even surprised.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So
it's gotten to the point where I want to re-up my Universal annual passes. It's so good.
yeah.
And so only time will tell, with that. I will forego my discussion on the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival for a later date, but I
Okay.
will tell you that it was an amazing food and garden festival. There's plenty of new experiences. Listen to some of my reviews on the food items at the Dining at Disney podcast that I host with my wife, Kristen, and Kat Arcori. It's just another great festival at Epcot. They're once again stepping up their game in terms of just delivering on food experiences and just overall great vibes and storytelling. I think it's a lot of fun. So
Awesome.
So leadership changes at Disney abound. That's happening this week. Dave, another thing that's happening in terms of pop culture this week is the Oscars. I know you're a voting member for the Academy, so I know you can't talk about the stuff, but I will say it's going to be interesting to see who wins as we record this. The Oscars, the 98th Annual Academy Awards, my gosh, 98 years of it.
Yep.
It's going to be taking place tonight as we record this show, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. We will be talking about the winners in next week's episode.
Yeah, and Aljon, I've been actually a member of the Motion Picture Academy for almost 40 years.
Oh my gosh, Dave.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And a lot of people there, you have all kinds of movies, and for best director, I can't talk. Best director, Ryan Coogler. I can't talk. I said best Coogler. Best director, Ryan Coogler is up. And then Thomas Anderson. So you have One Battle After Another versus Sinners. Best actress, you have a couple great choices. I think you have Jessie Buckley from Hamnet, and then you have Renee Rensiv from Sentimental Value. It's good stuff there. Best actor, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and then Wagner Moura for Secret Agent. Some of the leaders in that. Man, it's going to be an interesting show to see who wins this year.
It will be also for the animation categories.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot going on.
K-pop Demon Hunters and Zootopia 2, and there's it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
100%. Speaking of the box office,
yes,
let's check out what's going on here as the top 25 theatrical releases for this week. Hoppers is number one. Disney has found themselves yet again in the driver's seat for this week. The Hopper's premise and the animation looks so great and funny. Nothing warms my heart more than funny animals scurrying across the screen, and Hoppers does that.
Aljon, I'm just going to sit here and say, what's the common denominator between Zootopia 2 and Hoppers? Animals. Furry, funny animals that are being animated. And as far as I'm concerned, they should be doing more pictures like this and less humanoid pictures. There was such a stretch of humanoid animation going on where you just sit there and go, why don't you just make this a live action film, for crying out loud?
Exactly. Well, films, the new Toy Story trailer came out. I can't believe they're bringing the band back together for yet another one.
Yeah.
And why not? I mean, it's a huge franchise,
Sure.
right? And these, the toys are going to be selling more toys and stuffed animals from Hoppers and Zootopia. You're going to sell a lot more stuffed animals and kind of bring those families back into the theater. You had, movies like, what was it? Inside Out, and those type of movies, they always do really well. So yes, furry means furry, funny money is what's happening at the Disney company right now with Hoppers, 45 million, and a total domestic gross as well for opening weekend. Good stuff. Scream 7, pulling up the rear for yet another week, 17 over this weekend at 95 globally. The Bridal, Goat, Wuthering Heights, Crime 101, Epic, the Elvis Presley movie, which I can't wait to see, doing really well at number 7. Send Help continues to do well at 1.5 million for an overall global gross at 62. I'm sorry, that's domestic gross at 62 million. I can only imagine 2. And then Demon Slayer rounds up number 10. Zootopia is actually still in theaters in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. Even though it's streaming now on Disney Plus, it's making about 700,000 at the box office for a domestic gross total at 427, and that is just domestic, y'all.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, the international gross, it's the highest grossing animated film of all time. It's up to like 1.8 billion or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 2 billion right now.
Yeah, it's closing in on it.
Really good stuff here, gang. And when it comes to streaming, Lincoln Lawyer, Dave, on Netflix is still
it was a great new season. We binge watched it. It was fantastic. I love it. I hope it comes back for another season.
Absolutely. The Pit also doing really well, Dave. You talking about that?
We haven't gotten through season 2 yet. I think we're I don't know, I want to say 7 episodes into season 2, and it's just such a fantastic show. And by the way, winning tons of awards.
Yes. That's another hit for HBO Max.
Yeah.
The HBO Max, of course, Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. And rounding out the top 5, Bridgerton, Love is Blind, Joe's College Road Trip, all on Netflix streaming. And how about this, Dave? I'm going to put this up here to you. Whom Gen Z goes to the movies with. Now, they're more likely to go to theaters with families than a date. According to the Hollywood Reporter, it looks like 19% in 2019 went with a date, and 21% went with family members. And now it's kind of flip-flopped a little bit. 14% go with boyfriends or dates. And now, as an adult, is from 2025, 31% go with family members. Well, I think they're just growing up. Gen Z is growing up.
There you go. I mean, look, I have always advocated for a movie experience, a movie theater experience. I think some of these great films, like next weekend, Hail Mary is coming out with Ryan Gosling, right? It's going to be a great feel-good movie, and it's a movie you need to see on a big screen.
Yes.
I still enjoy going to the movie theaters, Aljon. Since we've been doing this podcast, I've talked on and off about the fact that many of these films should be seen in a movie theater,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of communal experiences, Dave, I found this to be interesting. A sidebar, Bar Rescue is one of my favorite shows on Paramount Plus. And I love seeing them. John Taffer goes in as a bar rescuer. He goes in, straightens the place out. The place is junky. The people are apathetic. The owners and are completely just dialed out.
And the place is dirty and disgusting.
Disgusting. And they actually came into a bar in my neighborhood with one of my friends behind the bar. The old guitarist for my band is actually in this season's opener.
Wow.
And completely turns the place around. I went there with Kristen and one of our friends in February after they did the remodel, and the place is amazing. Great stuff. But John Taffer has been making the rounds, of course, promoting the new season of Bar Rescue on Paramount. saying the reason why bars seem to be on a decline is because the bar culture, when the pandemic happened, uh, people just started having, drinks and stuff and socializing at home and on Zoom calls and things, and they never quite got back to the bars.
Yeah.
And I think that is, I agree with him on that. I also think that maybe the disposable income, people are holding on to their money and they're not, you know, spending it on these type of experiences going out because let's be honest. I mean, I mentioned, going to Geo 82, it is a premium experience, but anywhere you go these days, dropping some coin on drinks and food, pub food is expensive.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. But, I have to tell you, Aljon, living at the beaches here in Southern Delaware, there's no shortage of bar activity. And that's
Mhm.
because this is sort of a resort area.
Yeah.
And during the summer, the bars around here are packed. And
Mm.
happy hour is a big deal here. So people are going out and they are hitting restaurants and bars for their happy hours and just enjoying themselves. So I think that, it depends on where you are. If you're just in, Nashville or New York City, bars may be on the slight decline. But not everywhere. Not everywhere.
Yeah, I don't see it really resting. Nashville is a huge bar town, and we have bar entertainment. We have some of the best lounges and honky tonks in the world,
Yeah.
if not the leader in that.
And that's part of the tourism of going to Nashville is because
Yeah.
there's the honky tonks and you also have to think about there's a shift in people's taste as far as what they're drinking.
Oh, sure.
Wine is going through a real decline. There are wineries in Northern California that are closing their doors, that are not harvesting grapes. There's a real glut of wine right now. The industry as a whole is hurting because beer and spirits are on the rise.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I mean, I think it just depends on where you are.
Yes.
But I will say that so far, I think there are no signs of stopping. But I will say this: I do agree with John Taffer when he said that coffee shops are basically the training grounds for bars for the bar culture, and I will agree with that.
There you
For
go.
sure.
There you go.
So check out the new season of Bar Rescue on Paramount Plus, and check out my friend Behind the Bar. It'll be interesting. Right now, let's check out this, Dave. It's once again time for the roll call. All right, Dave, here we go. Will and Grace alum Corey Parker passes away at the age of 60 after battling cancer. They've gone too soon, this guy. And once again, the actor's aunt, Emily Parker, revealed that the actor died on Thursday in Memphis battling his fight with cancer. It's unclear as to what type of cancer he was diagnosed with. Corey Parker, wow, just so sad.
Very sad. 60, that's young.
It certainly is. And this time I'm going to show you all some of the pictures here. So if you're following along, you check out page 6 here. Very sad indeed. We also have another actress who played the Gimp in Pulp Fiction, dead at the age of 80 or 68 rather. Dave, here he is right there.
He
How
looks
about
older
that?
than 68, I'll tell you that.
He did, definitely. The actor died of a heart attack in Denver, Colorado, according to TMZ on Monday. Very sad indeed. But once again, he's played in different things. He played the Gimp in Pulp Fiction. I think a lot of people know him for that. But once again, young, very young. And then here it is, Boston singer Tommy DiCarlo, dead at the age of 60. And, once again, very young, Dave, very young indeed.
Yeah.
For this. It's with heavy hearts that we share the passing of our dad, Tom DiCarlo, on Monday. And this happened during one of our hiatuses there doing the interviews. But March 9th is when he passed after being diagnosed with brain cancer last September. He fought with incredible strength and courage right until the very end.
Really sad.
Wow.
Really sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Indeed. Speaking of musicians, Phil Campbell, longtime Motorhead guitarist, dead at the age of 64. And once again, he is with great sadness that we announce the passing of our beloved father, Philip Anthony Campbell, who passed away peacefully last night after a long, courageous battle with intensive care from a major operation. And the family, I don't guess, had revealed exactly what the situation was. He underwent a difficult procedure, noting on Instagram. Very sad, though, for that. Very sad. And then you also have The Crown and Downton Abbey star, dead at the age of 81, Jane Laportier. She was 81 years old, Dave. There she is, right?
Wow.
81 years old.
She had a good life, and she leaves behind a lot of good stuff.
Absolutely. A Tony Award-winning actress seen here in 1981, Search for Alexander the Great, passing away on March 5th. And then we also have DJ Eminem, DJ Lord Sear, who is the DJ for Eminem, passes away at the age of 52.
Holy
my
moly.
Goodness. Legendary hip-hop icon passes away. It's with heavy hearts that we share the passing of Lord Sear. The tribute read alongside 3 pics of the late Sirius XM host, who was more than just a voice of the radio. He was a force and a friend and family to many of us. And once again, so sad, so young. Absolutely so young. The last bit I have, Jennifer Runyon from Ghostbusters and Charles in Charge and other movies and sitcoms, dies at the age of 65. Dave, there she is right now with Bill Murray.
Really sad.
Oh, my goodness.
Did it say what she died of?
Yeah, did not give a cause over social media, but here she is on the scene of Ghostbusters with Bill Murray. She was one of the students that Bill Murray was doing those ESP cards with in the very opening scenes of the film. And I remember her also from Charles in Charge. So young, very sad indeed to see her. There she is once again, Runyon, 65. She played Cindy Brady in a very Brady Christmas. So I remember her for sure on Ghostbusters, that, and of course Charles in Charge. There's the famous scene of her playing against Bill Murray in Ghostbusters, an iconic scene for sure. What is on the back of his card? Of course, she gets all of them right, and then the geek next to her gets shocked every single time he guesses the right card. Not the wrong card, but the right card, because Bill Murray's character, Peter Venkman, was a dog. There you go.
Fantastic.
That wraps up what we've been checking out. And of course, the roll call for this week. May they rest in peace.
Let's get out of here!
Come on, Scotty, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here, Lieutenant.
Let's wrap up today's show. Dave, thank you so much. If you've listened to this show, Dave and I just catching up, shooting the stuff for yet another show. Thank you so much. If you love this show, please subscribe to this show on your favorite podcast platform, as well as YouTube. We're out there. Subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, give us those 5-star reviews, no 4-star reviews or below for this podcast. You know us, you love us. Give us those 5-star reviews. Every little bit helps the algorithm. We're on the socials as well. Give us a like and follow Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Instagram. We're there. Dave and I are there individually as well. Check out the vault of shows we have over the past 5, now 6 years, practically, at skullrockpodcast.com.
It's over 280 shows.
Believe it, Dave. 280 shows. I can't believe it. Check us out. You can also send us those emails. We will have the link in the show notes as well. Check out my Instagram page, Aljon Go on Instagram. I'd love to see you there. We talk about music and cats. That's what we do. And then also our friends at Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com, and the other podcast I host every single week with my wife, Kristen, Dining at Disney podcast. Kat or Corey, our special guest, is on there. We talk about Disney food in the parks every single week. So be sure to check that out as well. Dave?
Aljon, as I've been saying for months now, Animation Y'all Expo in Nashville, April 10th to 12th. The tickets are going fast. I'm telling you, the tickets are going fast. We are going to be there. We're in booth number 49 and 50. Skull Rock Podcast will be there. Aljon, you and I are going to be there. The Old Mill Press is going to be there. I'm going to be signing books at the Old Mill Press table, as well as other authors who are going to be dropping by to sign their books. So check us out. April 10th to the 12th in Nashville. I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be here before we know it. You can also catch me monthly on the Tunes Behind the Tunes on Sirius XM Disney Hits channel 133. During the month of March, I am spotlighting the Unbirthday song from Disney's 1951 animated classic Alice in Wonderland. So that is a fun song, I have to say. So check that out on SiriusXM Disney Hits channel 133. Also, if you want to get any of my books autographed, go to theoldmillpress.com. You can also get author-signed copies of newly released The Art of John Canemaker, An Animator's Garden by John Canemaker. And we'll have copies of that at the Old Mill Press table in Nashville. Along with A Spoonful of Sugar, the story of the Upjohn Pharmacy at Disneyland. That's right, Drugs at Disneyland by Stephen Hall. And finally, if you want to, you can go to my website, davidbossert.com, where there is plenty of free stuff, free content to read, free stuff to send away for. And with that, Aljon, I'm going to say go out and have a fantastic week, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Spring is starting to hopefully bloom a little bit. Wherever you are, it's starting to warm up in places. So enjoy yourselves. Be kind to one another. And we'll see you back here next week, right here on the Skull Rock Podcast.